Forbes has named Zimbabwe as the world's best country to visit in 2025, a recognition that the Zimbabwean government attributes to President Emmerson Mnangagwa's leadership. However, Forbes, an American magazine, did not mention the nation's leadership in its recent tourism report, which is updated regularly. Zimbabwe first took the lead in August 2025. Forbes magazine cited Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe Eastern Islands, breathtaking terrains suitable for hiking as the Southern African nation's strongest selling points. In a statement, the European Union termed Zimbabwe's chart-topping recognition as, quote, well-deserved, hailing its astonishing landscapes, rich biodiversity, and warm hospitality. According to Forbes, Zimbabwe's capital Harare has witnessed a 56% surge in flight inquiries, while the country's southwestern city of Bulawayo has registered more than 80% flight searches in recent months. Bulawayo is the gateway to Matobo National Park and also hosts Zimbabwe's main museum, the Natural History Museum. Forbes said it relied on travel expert interviews to compile its report on leading tourist destinations worldwide. The magazine also cited opportunities for wellness travel in city, jumping and low-intensity travel as the other parameters. The only other African nation in Forbes' top 10 list was Morocco at number 6. Globally, Zimbabwe is followed by Lithuania at second place and Sri Lanka in the third position. Besides commending President Mnangagwa for the international recognition, the Zimbabwean government lauded First Lady Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is also the country's culture and heritage ambassador, for positioning Zimbabwe as a tourist hub. In terms of tourist arrivals in 2024, Zimbabwe received 1.6 million tourists, a figure that falls way below Morocco's 17.4 million and second-placed Egypt's 15.7 million. Tunisia was third on the continent with nearly 10.3 million tourists, followed by South Africa at 8.9 million and Algeria rounding out the top 5 with 3.5 million tourists. Other countries in the top 10 in a descending order were Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Mauritius, and Uganda. The Forbes report, which ranked Zimbabwe as the world's leading tourist destination, did not anchor its rankings on tourist numbers, but on scenic sites as well as ease of movement in the host country. In 2024 alone, Morocco earned $11 billion from tourism, while Egypt's rich heritage pushed its tourism earnings to above $14 billion, placing its revenue above Morocco's. Tunisia, on the other hand, pocketed $2.2 billion. Zimbabwe, which ranks 8th based on tourist arrivals, earned $1.2 billion from tourism in 2024. Zimbabwe, whose economy is significantly driven by the service sector, agriculture, and mining, has a population of nearly 17 million people.
Shifting focus now to South Africa. US President Donald Trump said that the country should not be part of the G20 or the Group of 20 economies. Trump called what's happening in South Africa bad without explaining what he meant. His rather ambiguous comments come just weeks before the G20 summit. South Africa is set to host the summit in Johannesburg starting on November the 22nd. Speaking at a conference in Miami, the US president said he would not attend the upcoming G20 meeting, claiming South Africa shouldn't even be in the Gs anymore. Vice President J.D. Vance is now scheduled to attend in his place.
For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on in parts of South Africa, look at South Africa, what's going on. Look at South America, what's going on. You know, I'm not going to, we have a G20 meeting in South Africa. South Africa shouldn't even be in the Gs anymore because what's happened there is bad. I'm not going. I told him I'm not going. I'm not going to represent our country there. It shouldn't be there.
The comments echo a familiar theme for Trump, portraying South Africa through claims of white genocide. As president, he has repeatedly described white South Africans as fleeing a terrible situation and has accused Pretoria of targeting white farmers. These claims have been dismissed by South African authorities and independent rights groups. Whites make up just 7% of South Africa's population. Yet, own roughly 2/3 of farmland and earn, on average, 3 times more than black South Africans. Experts say these inequalities are a legacy of apartheid, not evidence of persecution. Pretoria says its land reform programme aims to correct those historical injustices, not to target any specific community. The divide over perception and history came into sharp focus earlier this year when Trump hosted South African President Cyril Ramaphosa at the White House. What began as a bilateral meeting turned tense when Trump confronted Ramaphosa with claims of attacks on white farmers. Trump even played a video he said showed alleged executions of white South Africans. Later, it was found that part of the footage Trump played included unreleased scenes from the Democratic Republic of Congo, not South Africa.
And those people in many cases are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
Trump's latest remarks that South Africa shouldn't even be in the G20 now risk reigniting that same controversy, just as the country prepares to host world leaders.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this video are based on publicly available information, news sources, and independent analysis. Afriscope TV does not claim to represent any government, political party, or movement. Our goal is to amplify African voices, educate the public, and spark meaningful conversations on global and continental issues. We encourage our audience to engage critically, verify facts independently, and participate in peaceful, lawful civic discourse. This content is for informational and educational purposes only.